headline getting peeled, every rumor getting grilled. Hip-hop industry drama, every deal. If it's making noise, then you know I'm in the field. Smoke News TV. I sit back and wait on it, cause the truth always rises when the smoke starts clearing. Smoke News TV. We back in the building, breaking down the latest. Every story got layers, everybody got opinions. I'ma do the homework first, looking past the captions, digging deeper than the surface. Cause every viral headline don't determine what the truth is. Beef, contracts, albums, interviews. Who's making power moves, who's just chasing views. Some call it gossip, I call it research. Connecting every dot before I get my first words. If it's solid, I'ma say it. If it's weak, I'ma call it. If I catch somebody moving funny, that's nasty work. Close Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Smoke News TV. We back in the. No bias over here. I just call what I see. Whether legends or the rookies, everybody gets reviewed. Culture over clout, that's the code I live by. Every episode, another conversation amplified. So you're rocking with the movement. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hype your boy up. Every time the smoke rises, you already know where to pull up. Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Yeah. This is Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Let's get to it. Smoke News TV, where the truth gets revealed. Every headline getting peeled, every rumor getting grilled. Hip-hop industry drama, every deal. If it's making noise, then you know I'm in the field. Smoke News TV. I sit back and wait on it, cause the truth always rises when the smoke starts clearing. Smoke News TV. We back in the building, breaking down the latest. Every story got layers, everybody got opinions. I'ma do the homework first, looking past the captions, digging deeper than the surface. Cause every viral headline don't determine what the truth is. Beef, contracts, albums, interviews. Who's making power moves, who's just chasing views. Some call it gossip, I call it research. Connecting every dot before I get my first words. If it's solid, I'ma say it. If it's weak, I'ma call it. If I catch somebody moving funny, that's nasty work. Close Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Smoke News TV. We back in the. No bias over here. I just call what I see. Whether legends or the rookies, everybody gets reviewed. Culture over clout, that's the code I live by. Every episode, another conversation amplified. So you're rocking with the movement. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hype your boy up. Every time the smoke rises, you already know where to pull up. Smoke News TV. We back in the building.
Oh man, we back in the building, gang. Smash that like button while everybody coming in the building. Do me that favor. Smash the like button, man. Everybody not biting. Everybody not agreeing with that with the head injury. I tell you that. You got Nancy Grace talking about she ain't going for that shit. You got a lot of people not going for this autopsy. I tell you that. Nobody going for this shit. Nobody at all. That's why we back talking about it, because when you give an autopsy to an independent autopsy and all of a sudden they got injuries all over itself, and I mean neck, I mean injuries, they trying to say because he was laying down on the thing where they lay your dead body on. Now, we're not trying to hear them excuses. Absolutely not. It's absolutely a crime that happened allegedly, and everything I speak on this video is alleged. But we're going to go through what Nancy Grace got to say, because you know the one and only Nancy Grace, when she on to something, she on to something. We're going to go through that. And we're going to go back to the Warren interview. We're going to go back. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to do a lot of things. So y'all already know how we do over here, man. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up in the building. Smash that like, man, while y'all coming in, man. Subscribe to the channel. Grab your membership. Be down with Team Smoke. Support the channel. It's the Cash App and the banner. There's also a super chat. Support the channel by any means necessary. Also, follow me on Kick. We live on Kick also over there. So shout out to everybody that in the building, because yeah, we gotta talk about this shit once again. We had a good live too early this morning. Then we broke that shit down nice. What's going on, Newsom? What's going on, Shay? Smash that like button while y'all coming in the building. Let's get this copyright out the way, man. Copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find it in my description on my channel. Everything that I speak on over here, absolutely for educational and entertainment purpose. Again, copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find it in my description on my channel. Everything that I speak on over here is absolutely for educational, entertainment purpose. The clips I play also owned by the original creators. Smash that like button while y'all coming in the building. Come on, man. Go get your little cognac. Go get your little drink, whatever. Go light one up. Go take a little break. Go to the bathroom. You know y'all take y'all phone when y'all go in the bathroom, right? Yeah, I know somebody went to go use the bathroom right now. I know goddamn well y'all got that phone. Hold up, right? Y'all in the bathroom right now with the phone in your hand. And they want us to believe that Nolan ain't want his phone? Hold up. Anybody watching me right now, pause. I know y'all got the phone right now, probably using the bathroom, females, whatever. The meaning why I'm saying that, because everybody takes their phones with them. And they still want us to believe that Nolan just said, yeah, take my phone and I'll see y'all later on. And they told him, good luck. Oh, you'll figure it out how you're going to get back, right? These are the narratives they want us to believe. An 18-year-old college kid that nowadays they take a lot of photos and a lot of videos. Oh, we got a new interview too with the the Coastal Guard, the Navy, whatever, SEAL guy, whatever, the Cajun, whatever, Navy SEAL, them guys over there, the rescue guy. Yeah, we got another interview with him. He got an interview with TMZ, and he did another interview with Nancy Grace. It's nasty work, man. And he's gonna break down. See, I want y'all to hear the interview he does with Nancy Grace. Because you know Nancy be having her foot on people's neck every time they come on that platform. He got photos of when Nolan was actually, when he was discovered. And what he said is his body, the way it was laid like this, it was it was right on the edge of the sand and the water. Oh, let me repeat myself. You know how y'all go close to the water, but you ain't going in the water. You like on the borderline of the sand and the water. We're going to call it the borderline. You know the borderline of the sand and the water? Right there, the shallow part. They said that's where his body was at laid out. Even Nancy Grace said, man, that shit looked like it was staged. It's nasty work, man. Rest in peace to that young man, Nolan Wells, because we out here we out here got their foot on their neck, the whole internet. So my condolences to the family and rest in peace to that young man until the truth actually come out. How many likes we got? Smash that like button, gang. Come on, let's continue. So we got this. So we got this going on. Everybody believe that the autopsy revealed it's a lot of head things. There's a lot of head drama going on. You got bruising back of the neck. You got the throat part missing, which everybody's assuming that. Oh, we're gonna remember that medical guy that was on Nancy Grace show. Yeah, you know that little medical dude that should be having up there. Oh yeah, he's back on the show too. We're gonna get to him because the only reason why you taking that throat part, it's because it's something going on. It's either he got choked. Somebody said in my comment, maybe they might have had a rope behind his neck. Allegedly, everything we speak on is alleged. Something around his neck actually put pressure on by his throat. Pause. They either choked him out, they did something to this kid. That's why they kept the part on the throat. They kept that part, and they say that's very unusual for people to keep that part. It's very unusual. So the only thing we could think of is because y'all didn't want to send that part to the independent autopsy. Y'all didn't want them to explore something new or something that y'all probably did or something that y'all probably lying on. So that's the reason why y'all didn't send it to DC. That's the reason why y'all taking all these individual parts away from his body. And it's kind of weird because everything is missing from his top. Pause. It's all on his neck. The neck part, the damage in the head, everything is upper body. This shit is crazy. That's why I believe they choked him and they laid them and they put him in the water. They came back and they laid them out in the water. I don't even think they put hands on him. I don't even think they put, because we would have seen any type of bruises, whatever, on his body. They didn't say nothing about that. So I'm thinking they might have just got in an argument. I'm keep telling y'all, they got in an argument, whoever Nolan was arguing with, and somebody from behind grabbed them and they choked them out. That's what happened. All the parts that's missing is up here, y'all. We didn't get no injuries down here. We didn't get no, he got a broken rib. He got two broken ribs, his back. You see, I think they said they got a few little marks or something. They're going to reveal it later on. I guess another, I don't know. They're going to go over it again. But last time I seen the press conference, they didn't mention too many bruises and all that on his body. Everything was mentioned from the top. That means that he got choked out. He got choked out. That's why they took this part away. And they took long to send the body. So we don't even know if he even had bruises on his body. We don't know. These people are professional. And hold up. This is the person that's actually handling the shit down in Mississippi. Her name is Dr. Stacy Turner. This is the person allegedly that's handling the autopsy and everything down there, the examiner. Yeah, this is her right here. This the lady. And she don't got too much of a good resume behind her, too. They said she did a lot of bullshit in the past, allegedly. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this shit up. I feel bad. I really do. But we also got a statement from the mom. So now this is going around. This is Ashley Cole. She wrote this, I guess, on her Facebook, somewhere, Twitter, whatever. She wrote right is right and wrong is wrong. And I wonder what she mean by that. This is the stepmom that broke this, that actually wrote this shit. And this is today. This is going all over the internet. I ain't making this shit up. She said right is right, wrong is wrong. What you mean by that, though, Miss Judge, Miss Your Honor, Ashley? What the hell do you mean by this? I'm telling you, when you want to get away with stuff, that's the type of shit we're going to have. Money, connections, and cover up. I told y'all this shit is like Carmelo 3.0 because we got an underlying body. Carmelo shit the same way, cover up. They're protecting the boys because on that story, there was a white boy that got unalive. This one, 3.0 though. They protecting them. She needs to be dis. I'm trying to tell you, she need to get stripped from her goddamn job. That's what she need to do. To be putting that up, what's right is right, wrong is wrong. Okay. Since you want to say what's right is right, wrong is wrong, your son did a lot of wrong decisions. He left his friend on the island. He been friends with Nolan since 8th grade. He never been to Nolan's house. Nolan's always at your house. So don't you look at Nolan like one of the guys, one of your boys? Look at him like a son. Oh, I'm asking y'all. Yeah, I'm asking the lady this question because last time I recall, Warren said that he spent the night at this house a lot of time. So any other parents, the parents that of these boys, don't y'all look at Nolan like one of the boys or one of the friends or one of the guys or one of the or look at him like a son? Because obviously he's at your house all the time. And you telling me your son ain't do nothing wrong by leaving them out on an island? You telling me that your son's story is checked out? Everything he's saying is correct? You telling me that everything they got his phone and keys and it took 15 minutes to find it? But Nolan was with them for 2 days because he spent the night there the day before. Obviously, probably was playing video games. The goddamn keys was on top of the Xbox, but they was looking for it for 15 minutes. They couldn't find it. Make that make sense. So who's wrong on that goddamn note? Your stepson is wrong for playing all these goddamn games. Smash that like button, man. We got over 100 people in the building, man. Let's get to the news clip. Let's get 100 likes, man. Let's get this show started because I got a lot to talk. I'm just getting myself started. I took a little, I mean, I'm a little tired, so. He said people have titles with no integrity. People have titles with no integrity. I like that, Nicole. I like that. Because they got a lot of titles. They entitled to a lot of things over there. And they ain't they using that, they abusing, they're abusing their little title over there, to be honest. Because they got the goddamn connections. Their mothers, their fathers, whatever going on over there. That's what happens. People abuse that shit, man. They abuse it all the time. Even teenagers abuse it when they know their family are locked in with a lot of connections. They're going to abuse that power. They're going to abuse that title. Let's continue. Let's get to the goddamn news clip, though. What the hell I just do? There you go. Let's get to the news clip, though. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel, man.
Autopsy results are raising more questions about how Nolan Wells. Tonight, newly released autopsy results are raising more questions about how Nolan Wells died. An independent exam commissioned by his family's legal team classified the cause and manner of death for the 18-year-old as undetermined pending investigation.
He's saying based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play. That is significant.
The forensic pathologist wrote there were no fractures, cuts, or bruises on Nolan's body, but noted red discoloration was found on the back of his head and needs more investigation. The autopsy was performed 4 days after his body was found. The pathologist also writing there were missing parts of the neck.
Have you or he asked anyone for access to those things?
Hopefully that the medical examiner will allow him to come and examine the throat, also to talk about observations that they had, and so they could share information.
It is not unusual for a state medical examiner to keep parts for further evaluation.
Hello. That's why it looks so goddamn obvious that y'all covering something up. Because it's not usual for y'all to keep a goddamn throat piece. Like I said on my earlier live, what y'all do? Got on the shelf? Y'all just looking at that shit like it's a trophy or something and trying to figure it out? What y'all doing? What y'all playing? Get Out games? The movie Get Out? That's what y'all playing over here? Y'all taking body pieces and put it on y'all loved ones and shit? What are y'all doing over there? It's unusual. Even Nancy Grace said it. Everybody's saying it. It's unusual for them to keep that type of shit. And it's been 2 weeks and some change. And y'all still just got on the shelf just looking at it, huh? That's what y'all doing? Mississippi? You got to be shitting me. Let's continue.
Former medical examiner.
They could share information about that.
4 days after his body was found. The pathologist also writing there were missing parts of the neck.
Have you or he asked anyone for access to those things?
Hopefully.
Hello. Missing parts on the neck. What do that mean? That doesn't mean no drowning. That mean he got choked out. Probably put a rope. I don't want to put the rope thing involved, but I'm assuming he got choked out. That's why y'all covering all this part. That's why y'all just left that little rash, a little whatever little bruise, whatever part of meat in back of his neck. Because you could assume that could come from a lot of narratives. What's they trying to say? Oh, he was laying down like this too long. He might have got the bruise in back of his neck like that. That shit doesn't make no sense. The most important part is this part that y'all took from the independent autopsy. And y'all know that part of the throat was going to actually prove a lot of shit. And I think that's the reason why Mississippi examiner down there, Dr. Miss Tracy, whatever. I mean, what's the name of the lady? Hold up, Miss Turner right here. That's why I think she actually did that shit. She kept that shit for a reason. Money, connections, you could do shit like this. If that kid was poor, he won't be able to do shit like this. It's the money and it's the goddamn connection and it's to protect them boys. Allegedly. You protected everything on top of Nolan's neck. You didn't send shit down there. We need that. We got to find out what's going on here. We got to find out that they choke him. This is, I knew it was going to be some bull crap from the day one. Me too. That's Mississippi. That's Mississippi, man.
Based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play. That is significant.
The forensic pathologist wrote there were no fractures, cuts, or bruises on Nolan's body, but noted red discoloration was found on the back of his head and needs more investigation. The autopsy was performed 4 days after his body was found. The pathologist also writing there were missing parts of the neck.
Have you or he asked anyone for access to those things?
Hopefully that the medical examiner will allow him to come and examine the throat, also to talk about observations that they had, and so they could share information.
It is not unusual for a state medical examiner to keep parts for further evaluation. Former medical examiner Dr. Priya Banerjee reviewed the autopsy report.
I think the best thing we can take away is that there's no identifiable trauma.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is still investigating what happened after Nolan went to Horn Island in a boat with friends on July 4th. His body was found 2 days later washed ashore there. Today, the family's attorney noted the doctor was unable to examine the airways and lungs for water to determine drowning. In a recent interview, Warren Hudson says he'd been friends with Nolan since they were kids. Hudson said they frequently went boating, and they went to Horn Island with a large group of friends on July 4th.
Everybody's drinking, you know, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves.
Okay, Aaron Gilchrist joins us now. Aaron, the big question still remains here, and still no toxicology results?
Tom, the family's legal team is still waiting for the toxicology report from the state, and the medical examiner's office tells us today it will share appropriate information when the investigation is complete. Tom?
Well, we got part 2 of Officer Tatum just dropped the video about 20 minutes ago of part 2. Now, we're going to get to that. I'm going to play the audio of it. I ain't going to play the video. I'm going to play the audio. Because they're on the beach and he explaining all this. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I'm going to show y'all on my phone. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, we got part 2 of Warning. Matter of fact, let's get to part 2. Y'all want to see part 2 right quick so we could review this shit? Anybody want to see part 2 of Warren interview so we can review it right away? We can review this shit right now. Because Officer Tatum just dropped it. He just dropped this shit now. This is nasty work, man. Let's get to it. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video.
If I'm sitting waist deep in water and all some of the...
Let me see how I can do this. All right, there you go. I got y'all. Copyright fair use disclaimer is definitely in effect. Let me know if y'all can hear it. They just dropped it 20 minutes ago. This part 2 of Nolan friend Warren.
They're accusing wasn't even on the boat.
There you go. I got y'all.
Some of the boys they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. If I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat. I open the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too. Yeah.
Can y'all hear it clear? Let me know if y'all can hear it clear. All right, we back then. Y'all can hear it, we good. Let's continue. Let's continue. This part 2 of Warren, and I'm reviewing this shit now. They just dropped it 20 minutes ago.
In Mississippi right now, we're getting ready to recount the exact path that the boys took, also with Nolan Wells, from where they docked the boat at all the way out to Horn Island and back. The boys are going to explain to me exactly what went on, how many people were there, how many boats were taken out, which I think the world is going to be completely dumbfounded when they realize what the truth really is, because the lies have been pervasive. So we're right here where Nolan left on the boat, and you'll find out how many people were there.
You see, I don't understand when he says that. Why are you going to say we dumbfounded? The autopsy by itself shows that there's some type of cover-up. Respectfully, Officer Tatum, I respect you even doing this interview, to be honest. I really do. But to say that people going to be dumbfounded and, oh, yeah, people going to find out the truth. Why do you believe him? Why you believe him, Officer Tatum? For some strange reason, like, Tatum, why do you believe him? Let's continue.
How many boats, and we're going to take that same path out. I'm going to go look at Horn Island and see exactly where they could have been to get a perspective that the media don't even care to try to do. and then we're going to take the trek back, and we're going to find out exactly what happened to Nolan. That's the reason why I'm here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where the kids were docking, and we're going to show you a video that coincides. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing weren't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so
Somebody said that's the pool. So you seen the pool there, right? You seen the pool? Hold up. Let me go. Hold up. Somebody, yeah, I peeped that too. I seen the pool there too. Hold up.
Here's the angle that it was only Nolan and 4 boys that you're gonna. But let me show you. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. Tons of people you'll see on the video.
There go a pool.
Onto the boat.
Who owned that pool?
It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan.
Hello.
And 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing weren't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore, it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
So they got a video now. We ain't done. Hold up. We're reviewing this together, all of us. So they got a video of showing people jumping on a boat. What's the rest of the video? I want to see the long extended video. I want to see when Nola arrived, when all of them jump on the boat. You see, I understand what Tatum is saying, but I got a rebuttal on that. If it's so many people jumping on a boat, why so many people don't know what happened to Nola? That makes the story even more worse, to be honest. It makes it worse. If it's so many people jumping on a boat, why so many people don't know what happened to Nolan afterwards? Obviously, you could tell that Nolan didn't go out there by herself. Let's continue with this. This shit nasty work, man.
All right, guys.
God damn, bro.
About the sunglasses, it's very bright out here, and I never wear sunglasses, but we're at Horn Island, and almost the exact same position where the boards were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here. But I want you guys to put this in your mind, what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep, from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and from what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man. Get on the boat. Get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing.
So why we didn't hear that when it first happened? Why all of a sudden they want to tell you, respectfully, Tatum, all of a sudden you get all this information, but they don't tell the public, they don't tell their parents, they don't tell, because if they would have told Mama Love and them the same thing, yeah, we told Nolan to jump on the boat, we told him 10, 20 times, we didn't hear that shit now one time. That would have helped out. Little Warren and y'all guys, if y'all would have said that in the beginning, that shit would have helped out. Mama Love would have said that in the first interview. So while Mama Love ain't never mentioned that, y'all told her that we told Nolan to jump on a boat a mad times. Oh, let me guess. It was other friends. So why the other friends ain't coming up and saying that either? What the hell is what the hell are they talking about? So all of a sudden you're gonna sit down and you're gonna tell this to a podcaster. Not a lawyer, not police, not a detective, none of that. You're gonna tell this to Tatum, a podcaster. And hold up, the stepmother allowed you to do this? And she a goddamn judge? That first statement would have helped. Because what I'm trying to explain is if y'all would have been telling Mama Love, his pops, that y'all been telling him to jump on the boat, do this and that, we never heard that shit, and it been 2 weeks and some change. But all of a sudden, though, we get it from a podcaster that he's saying that they told him, we told Nolan. Now, I mean, and I'm not saying Tatum is making this up. Let's be that clear. I'm not saying Tatum is making this up, the guy that's doing the interview. I'm saying that they telling Tatum anything. They telling Tatum anything. Yeah, we told Nolan to jump on the boat. You know what I mean? Nolan decided to stay behind because, he's grown, this and that and the third. And, but y'all didn't see him an hour and a half. Oh, caught him. Hello. What was the last time they seen Nolan? Y'all remember what time they allegedly said is last time they seen Nolan? 3 o'clock. They left at 4:30 on a GPS boat with the information they gave us. So how the hell did y'all tell Nolan to come on, but he decided to stay when last time y'all seen him was 3 o'clock? Y'all didn't say y'all seen him at 4 o'clock. Y'all didn't say y'all seen him at 4:25. Y'all didn't say none of that shit. Y'all said y'all left clearly. This is y'all words. Y'all left at 4:30. So if y'all would have seen Nolan between 4 o'clock to 4:30, y'all would have said that shit. Because y'all remember clearly the time y'all left. Let's continue with this interview. You can't make this shit up, yo. You can't, bro. You just can't, man.
And they sent tons of people, multiple that. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, so this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and from what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man. Get on the boat. Get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report.
How they told Nolan to get on a boat when the last time they seen him was an hour and a half ago, according to their statement. The stepmom said that. The stepmom, the judge, she put a whole statement out. Remember when she put it in public? She said, yeah, Warren said they left last time they seen him was 3 o'clock. This all shit is bullshit. Because they would have clearly said that last time they seen Nolan before they left at 4:30.
Somebody said 4:30. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies, won't take the time to come to Horn Island, won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened, won't talk to anybody, pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why I came out here. I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened? You know, does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lies started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on a day that Nolan and his friends came out here to Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people because they're evil and they're liars.
Yo, you can't make this shit up, yo. What the hell he talking about? Who the hell said that Nolan only went out there with 4 to 5 people? What platform saying that? Because we all know, I mean, from day one, it's 4th of July weekend. The reason why everybody's looking at this shit like it's suspicious, it's something wrong, they're doing a cover up, because there was hundreds of people out there. That's why. What the hell is Tatum talking about? You might have been watching a small platform. I don't know what he's talking about, because that's the reason why we looking at everybody crazy, because there was thousands of people on an island. We ain't looking at it because it was 3, 4, 5 people. If it was 3, 4, 5 people, we would have been like, oh man, something happened out there. They was just dumb out there. Oh yeah, something definitely happened out there. They ain't got no witness or nothing. Oh yeah. But when you got thousands of people out there, that's what makes it look crazy. When they try to say it was an accidentally drowning. That's why it looks crazy when you got no Tatum. What the hell is you talking about? Yeah, he delusional. Yeah, Shay, he delusional. Shay, yeah, he delusional. Shay Newsom, he definitely delusional. You can't make this shit up, yo. You really can't, yo. You really can't, man. You really can't make this shit up. He said that everybody got the information wrong because people think that he went out there with a few people. No, everybody is bugging out because there was thousands of people on an island and nobody know nothing. And if you want to spin a narrative, like I continue saying, that he drowned, there's thousands of people out there. How nobody ain't see him. That's why we bugging out. That's why we have questions. That's why we looking at them crazy. That's why people's assuming this racist shit going on. Because it's thousands of people out there and nobody know nothing. Give me 1 second. Let me go fill my cup up right quick. This dude is delusional. I'm being honest. You can't make this shit up, man. Man. Let's continue, though. This guy, Tatum, shout out, boy. But Tatum know what he's doing, though. That's why I say he's making content. So respectfully, I'm glad you even did this interview, to be honest. Let's continue.
So if it was like that right now, when the situation happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I want to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was.
You just heard what he said. That's why we bugging out, Tatum, because thousands of people acting like they didn't see nothing happen. Let's continue.
Like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat-out lie. Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, where the island drops off and how the island works. But, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July, that's where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you fill the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't in a quarter mile off the island and when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is, and that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walked in the water with my pants on. They're wet. And you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean, people come out here, especially on the 4th and, Memorial Day, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water, and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, if you're sitting on a pond, and no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and, saltwater, if you...
Most of the pictures that get taken on 4th of July is on the boat. So where's all the pictures and where are all these thousands of people that seen Nolan? You see, this is shit that gets me mad. This interview right here is the second part. He been talking about nothing but water, buddies, water, buddies, water, buddies. We went through the first interview early this morning. Everybody in the chat was saying that shit. Yo, the only thing he's talking about is buddies. Exactly. And then the second thing, he's just talking about water, water, water. Because they want to seem like he just jumped in that shit and just say this shit is over. Y'all want to really make it seem like, yo, Nolan just started bugging, just jumped in the water and said, man, I just give up on life. That's what y'all trying to say Nolan did? He just gave up on life, huh? He just jumped in the water. Yo, Warren whole interview so far. We probably got almost 7-8 minutes, right? The reason I gotta review this. I gotta do this. Warren interview so far, the kid y'all watching, that's all he been talking about is the goddamn water. The water, the water, the water, the water, the ties, the water, the ties, the water. You might as well make a goddamn remix. You might as well make a song, nigga. We want to know about Nolan, not about the water. This ain't geographic, history, life, water, class. We don't care about that shit. This shit got me pissed off, yo, because that's all we've been talking about. Yeah, how far the water goes in, it gets shallow, it drops down to 20 deep. And this, man, we don't care about that shit. God, yo. You can't make it up, bro. That's all this kid been talking about. His buddies in the first one, trying to cover up him and his buddies on the first part of the interview. Then he was talking about water throughout the whole shit. Then we get to the second part right now, and he continued talking about the water and the tides. Nothing about Nolan, though, so far. Let's continue. You can't make this shit up, man. I hope y'all light one up. I hope y'all got a glass or something. Like, God damn, this shit got me mad. I'm being honest, like.
You drop your phone and be off their phones, first off, very bad.
People talk about the phones.
Neck deep, and then it drops off and how the island works. But
this is how the island works. It drops down.
Especially on the 4th of July, that's where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you fill the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't in a quarter mile off the island when we were leaving. And, I mean, it was 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're walking towards the east right now. But if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is, and that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walked in the water with my pants on, it wet, and you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean, people come out here, especially on the 4th and, Memorial Day, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water, and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, if you're sitting on a pond, and no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were all the boat. Yeah. I mean, and, saltwater, if you drop your phone in saltwater, most of the time you're not going to get it back. Yeah. I mean, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, no one has their phone, though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island,
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or
I mean,
people have phones?
Absolutely not. Like, there was at least, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. To get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. Everywhere. There was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like, we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't.
That's bullshit. Y'all ain't gonna make it seem like it's a kumbaya, a little Hollywood, a little kumbaya neighborhood, and everybody just lay their keys and phones down. Let me tell you something. In the era we live in, ain't nobody gonna just lay their phones down. It's a lot of privacy shit going on in people's phone. It's a lot of personal shit that goes on in people's phone. It's a lot of secret shit that goes on in people's phone. It's a lot of all that go. And people just ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just lay my phone there. Let's go party, dude. No, it doesn't work like that. Because if it was like that, everybody leave their phone in the goddamn lounge and all that and just lay their phone on the table and just walk away. Y'all trying to make it seem like this is Sesame Street and shit like that. Everybody just, didn't I just tell you, only thing he's talking about his buddies, how close him and his buddies is, and the water. That's all he's been talking about so far in these last 2 interviews. How close him and his buddies, not Nolan. The only thing we got from Warren so far in the first interview, Nolan could come in the room and light up the room with a smile. I could never say nothing negative with Nolan. That's the only thing he said about him. Besides that, his buddies, him, and the water. And now he's trying to spin a narrative about the phone situation because remember, everybody's bugging out why Nolan left his phone. Y'all don't peep what he's doing? Yeah, he acting like this shit is Sesame Street. Everybody just get along and they just throw their phone in there. I don't believe that. Anybody in my chat go fishing, anybody in my chat does the same shit these kids be doing, because I know for a fact people they got their phone in their possessions. They ain't just gonna throw their phone over here where everybody else's phone's at. Hell no. You still could take photos and videos. If you can't go on Instagram or no apps because of the signal, you still could go to your camera and take phones and take photos and videos. You just have to upload it later when you land on land and get some Wi-Fi or get some internet or get some satellite. But while you out there, you still could use your phone as far as videoing, doing all that type of shit. God damn, what the hell just happened? That shit went dark on me. Yeah, but you still could do that. So there's no reason why he'll just throw his phone in there. Nah, bro. I don't believe that shit. Bro. Let's continue though. So now he's saying that the him and his friends, it's like Sesame Street. They all just get along and shit. So they all just throw their phones in some little cabinet thing, a little storage. They all just throw their phone there and they just be partying. He said that's how they always just do. That's a lie. I don't believe that shit. Let's continue.
Around the island. I mean, to get on the boat.
People left the phone on the boat.
I mean, especially the water's murky right now.
Remember what I said. He just talking about the water, him and his buddies. Water, him, and Sesame Street. Because he want to make it seem like they angels over there. They make it seem like they some cartoon characters that don't do nothing wrong or something. That's all he's talking about throughout the first one and this one. Peep it out. Water, Sesame Street, and his buddies.
Salt water. If you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time you're not going to get it back. I mean, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see. The visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, no one has their phone, though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island,
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or
Right. I mean,
people have phones
absolutely not. Like, there was at least, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. I mean, to get on the boat with White because we were having, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. I mean, everywhere. There was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like, we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't take your phone and walk around the island. There's plenty of phones on the boat and, spread out between the three boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our three boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop up.
Nobody won't do that. Hello? Who the hell does that? I won't even do that shit. You think I'm going to jump in the ocean, lake, whatever the hell that shit is, river? You think I'm going to bring my phone with me? No, I'm going to use my phone while I'm on a boat. Because I know I'm more careful with the phone. Nobody's going to bring their phone in the middle of a goddamn lake and be playing with it. Number one, you don't even got no service. So what the hell is you even looking at? You don't even make no sense. Number one, you just said, yeah, there ain't no service. So everybody just throw their phone in the thing. I don't see nobody in the water just strolling with their phone because there's nothing to stroll on. There's no internet. What you can't look at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. You can't look at nothing. Twitter, you can't look at nothing. So what's the reason of it bringing your phone in the middle of a river and lake and all that? I got common sense. I'm not gonna do that shit, but I'm definitely gonna be on a boat taking pictures and videos where it's more careful at, where I could be careful on my phone because I'm on a boat. Hello. Yo, these narratives they're trying to spin is crazy, yo. So now you're trying to say Nolan was in the water with his phone? What that got to do? Where was Nolan? We don't want to hear about the water and the tides and how deep it goes. We don't want to hear about the corner over there with the water with the tides. We don't want to hear. Where was Nolan? This shit crazy. You got to be a fool to bring your phone in the middle of a river and lake and got your phone like this. How the hell you gonna get back? Your phone might slip out your hand. Now it's gonna fall in the water. Nobody's gonna take their phone in the middle of a goddamn water like that. People don't even do that shit in the pool. Why they gonna do that shit out there? Now outside of pool is when you on your phone, you take filter photos and videos. Or maybe on a corner of the pool where you could be like this and lay your phone back behind you. Pause. Lay it back on land. But what? Let's continue, man. I don't know where he going with this. I really don't. But I know the only thing I could realize, he's talking about water, Sesame Street, and his buddies. Sesame Street means that he's acting like everything is kumbaya between them and they little angels.
On the boat, thinking, and they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't take your phone and walk around the island. There's plenty of phones on the boat and, spread out between the three boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our three boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. You know, a lot of girls like to take pictures, you know, in the water. And so do guys, but, you know, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else. But as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's common sense, man. I mean, and describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean, right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here.
Right.
But clearly that's not what it was on the 4th of July. So, like, how dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, you know, that are spread out online, and a lot of them, you know, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know, you know that better than anybody. But, I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island. And there was rows. There was the first row, there's the second row. We were in the third row where it drops off. And then there was even boats in front of us. And this went all the way down towards the east end of the island. And then there was people on the east tip. We're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down. And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. Yeah. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends. And
people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I've seen reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat, told him to get on the boat, he didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues, and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch, and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit, and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with, and the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up because.
Hold up. Matter of fact, let me finish it off because it's only a few minutes left. Now you heard him, right? He said that Nolan wanted to decide to stay on the island with some females. I'm assuming it's Katie. Katie, where you at? Katie, where you at, Katie? Here they go. They bringing you up again. This time they just say your name. Katie, where you at? So, but the key thing he said at the end of that, he said other females can actually verify that. So where's the other females? See, this well goes back to the goddamn sheriff. You hearing all this information and you ain't going to do interviews and getting no arrest, no nothing. You got to go. Let's continue, man. You can't make this shit up, bro.
I think it's back part of the boat, and there's water up to the batteries, and that is on.
Remember I told you that's all he talks about is water, 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 water. Yo, let me tell you something. His stepmother, that judge, she taught this kid well. She taught him well. Just speak about the water. That's all y'all around over there. Y'all just on an island with water. So Warren, make sure you just talk about water. Just water. Just water. Just water. Yo, she taught him well, yo. He took 2 weeks to make this statement on the public platform. You just talking about how water is throughout this whole interview and the first one? You can't make this shit up. Let's continue, though.
It's not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit, and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with, and the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen, and the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that. Of course, you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Giving me a rundown of kind of what it was like on that day, and hopefully people can understand what the truth is, and make their own decision. on facts.
Right. I mean, based off people. There's not a lot of people that are from the Mississippi Gulf Coast that don't understand Horn Island and don't understand the way boating works. And boating is a tight knit community. I like to fish a lot, and there's everybody. A lot of people know a lot of people. Everybody knows everybody. I know a lot of fishermen on the Gulf Coast. They know me and my buddies because we like to go in the water all the time. I mean, that's what we do in the summer. And I mean, a lot of people from the Gulf Coast know the truth behind it. Oh, you don't take your phone out the boat. The little facts. It's a difficult
What?
subject. This Horn Island's like 11 miles long. Not to
What
make
is he talking about?
11 miles long. It's not like this is a sliver of an island. It's a quarter mile. It's like a sandbar. No, this goes on to even if we came around this
Water. Water. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was the end right there.
no. I mean, it goes all the way down there, and I mean, it's a big island. There's a lot of people out here,
Water.
and
Water.
I mean, that's the truth. That's the way it was.
You can't make this shit up. That's part 2 of the interview. Give me a second, gang. All right, man. My bad. Yeah, that's all we got. So now I got to change the title and everything. I got to say Warren's second interview because the first interview he was talking about his buddies and him. And if y'all go back and watch the first interview, we reviewed it yesterday. That's all he was talking about, his buddies, him, and water. Now we thinking the second interview gonna come. We think he's gonna spice it up, might give us a little information or something, or might tell on his behalf of what's going on with him, or like the last time he seen Nolan. Because that's the whole thing we want to know. What's the last time he seen Nolan? We get the second interview, look at the bullshit we get. No emotion, no sympathy, no tears. He just talking about the water ties, boats, and Sesame Street. How him and his friends just be putting up their phones in a cabinet, and that's just the usual what they do. My thing is, why is you talking about the water and the phone so much when we actually want to interview on speaking about what was the last time anybody seen Nolan? What was the last time you seen Nolan? But last time we recalled, you said 3 o'clock and y'all left at 4:30. But you said you know hundreds of people on that island. You said that clearly in your first goddamn video. Yeah, I ain't just spend time around Nolan. I knew hundreds of people out there. So, I want to go, approach hundreds of people that I know. So my thing is, why them hundreds of people ain't let you know what's going on? Nobody ain't see nothing. That's why Al Sharpton is up there bugging the hell out on stage because nobody don't see nothing. We get an interview from you, not the police, not the detective, nobody else. We get an interview from you from a podcaster, and the only thing you want to talk about is goddamn water. Oh my God, bro. Title, water, water, water. That's exactly where I need to put it. I can't, bro. I can't. It's like it's crazy to me. It's because like if I was in that situation, right, I'm gonna do an interview that's gonna I'm gonna tell the truth if I don't got nothing to hide. I'm gonna tell anything you want to hear. That's exactly what I would have told Tatum. Anything you want to ask me, I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Tatum asked him some good questions, But it seemed like the kid was already prepared for them questions. Obviously, because it took 2 weeks and some change for one of them to talk. We still need two of them to talk. And they got the nerve to take Tatum to the goddamn beach, to the island. Acting like you being on an island is going to prove anything. Oh shit, yo. That's what I was thinking too. Brandy, what Brandy said there, notice how every name Tatum is about, he saw them passing. Yeah, he did that shit to protect himself from others too. That's what he did. But he really didn't even protect himself because the only thing he spoke about was water and ties. And when you put water in your whole goddamn interview, basically is what you're saying that Nolan, it got something to do with Nolan being unalive. Because why you keep speaking about the water? Did somebody push Nolan in the water to 30 feet? Did somebody dare Nolan to jump in the water 30 feet a long distance and y'all watch him drown? What's the reason that you keep bringing up the water every time throughout this whole interview you did for with Officer Tatum? That's all you were spoken about is water. So now I'm putting it together like, okay, so what did y'all do? Did y'all did something? Did y'all place him in a water head down it? Like, what's going on? Pause. Ah, man, that interview was terrible. Let's continue though. I'm glad he dropped that shit today, but that interview was horrible, bro. Because the only thing he did was protect himself and try to make it seem like he trying to make it seem like water and Nolan got something to do together. That's exactly what he did, and protect his buddies in the first interview. Let's continue, gang. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. What we got here? He kept saying he was on a boat. I think he was on one in the altercation with them on the other black kids with them. That's what, remember they said that. They said there was another boat where there was a couple other more black kids on the boat. That's what they said. That's another narrative. We don't know how true that shit is. He asked no forensic interview questions. Nah, that's what I'm saying. He ain't asked for shit. The interview going to bite him in the ass. Pause. That's a fact, Rock. That's a fact. That interview going to come back on Warren. Watch. I'm telling you. You know, compulsive liars have to make their lies seem true. That's a fact, Tanya. Yes, he drowned. I don't think he drowned. If he drowned in a crime way, in a negative way. Shout out to Mercy Me. I don't know if you're trying to be. He drowned in the water. Yeah, I agree with you, Mercy. But how did he get in the water? Let's continue though. Smash that like bunker. We ain't get to Nancy Grace. She got them questions too. Let's continue, man.
Any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Understand, he's saying based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play. That is significant. With the following questions still outstanding, number one, what were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water? Number two, what was the body?
Now, this is important because these are 7 questions that the independent autopsy guy, these are 7 questions he had for Mississippi. And basically Crump broke them down to everybody. Hold on, let me give him a shout out. Shout out to Chris, man, for being a member. Shout out to Chris Ankles for being a member. Shout out to Chris for being a member, being down with Team Smoke. Appreciate that, champ. Yeah, but these are 7 most important questions that the independent autopsy had for. They got these questions for Mississippi, and Mississippi got to answer these goddamn questions. What the hell is going on with this? Let's continue though.
Rule out if any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Understand, he's saying based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play. That is significant. With the following questions still outstanding, number one, what were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water? Number two, What was the body position when it was found? We know that a member of the United Cajun Navy said that he was face down and he was fully clothed. Number 3, where's there water in the airway? Remember he talked about the lungs and the airways where they fill with water. Number 4, is there any evidence of injuries to the anterior neck structure? We got the autopsy without his neck. We got the body without his neck at the time of the second autopsy. Number 5, is there any evidence of any intracranial hemorrhaging? He said that is going to be very significant. Things that he could not observe at autopsy that the initial medical examiner would have been able to observe. Number 6, what was the composition of the stomach contents? He talks about that being important because when was he found? How long had he been in the water? How long had it been since his last meal? All those things become relevant factors when you're trying to do a thorough and impartial autopsy. And number 7, what are the toxicology report findings? He said the best classification again for the cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells is undetermined pending investigation. This forensic pathologist reserves the right to review and incorporate additional forensic pathology information into his opinion as it becomes available. He says the above opinions are expressed to a reasonable degree of medical certainty. Dr. Roger A. Mitchell, July 19, 2026.
Those are 7 questions that the doctor got over there who did the autopsy independent from Mississippi. And Mississippi need to answer them goddamn questions, not for nothing. Man, why the hell they add all this shit on here? All right, let's get to Nancy Grace. Now, Nancy Grace had a lot of questions about this like we all do. And you know Nancy Grace actually a person that covers stories, and she makes sure when she covers stories, she be on point on it. Nobody don't want to make a fool out themselves that they think that what they saying could come back and haunt them and got her looking crazy on her own show. Nancy jump on these cases because she knows some type of crime going on. This is what Nancy Grace does. She got a whole history of this shit. She had a TV show, everything. So this is what she do. But let's get to her though, because if somebody said, and another thing, she did another interview with the guy that actually, you know, the Cajun Navy SEAL, whatever that shit called, rescue and search guy, whatever, the Coastal Guard, whatever it was. She did another interview with that person. And that person said, he said, let me take this back. He said that a lot of people took what I said overboard, they took over their head. When I said he was fully clothed, I didn't mean that he had a hoodie on, a shirt on. No. What he meant that, you're going to hear him, what he meant saying that he had his trunks on. That's it. So according to him, he's saying that Nolan had no shirt on, nothing. He just had his trunks. And he was face down on the borderline of the sand and in the water. Seemed like he was placed there. Let's continue. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video.
And Trasher, Vice President, isn't it true to you, Brian Trasher, Vice President, United Cajun Navy? The Navy participated in the search, and I got to clear up that whole thing about fully clothed with you. That said, isn't it true? And I'm looking at the picture on my phone that I got from an undisclosed source. I'm looking at Nolan's body on the beach. We are not showing it. He's face down, isn't he?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, he was when we flew over.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you about the clothing.
Yeah.
What? Repeat?
No, I said when we observed.
Hey, yo, I love Nancy. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Yo, Nancy be looking like she be loopy, right? Now, keep it real. Nancy be looking like she be loopy, yo.
Back to you about the clothing.
Hey, yo, Nancy be looking like she be loopy on her show, boy. You see how she got the fingers going? She got the finger thing going and everything. Hey, yo, shout out to Nancy, man. Yo, she bugged out. Yo, let's continue though, because she about to put this guy on his place, and I'm gonna let y'all hear what he got to say again.
Looking at the picture on my phone that I got from an undisclosed source, I'm looking at Nolan's body on the beach. We are not showing it. He's face down, isn't he?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, he was when we flew
Okay, I'm
over.
going to come back to you about the clothing.
Yeah.
What? Repeat?
No, I said when we observed him from the air, yeah, he was face down and he was wearing swim trunks and only swim trunks. I think that the term fully clothed just got taken out of context.
Well, when you look at the body from high up, it appears at first like he had on a shirt with swim trunks, but he does not have on a shirt. He only has on swim trunks. That's a whole peripheral issue. But back to Dr. Kendall Crowns. So, Dr. Kendall Crowns, you may have an explanation for this. I've already thought of one, and I'm not a medical examiner, but I don't see how the deep red, I'm talking about, was there a blow to the back of the head? Did he fall off a boat? Did he hit his head on something else? If it turns out he drowned, how did he get in the water? Why was he in the water? Why did everybody leave him? Lots of questions tonight. But if he was found face down, the blood would not have settled to the back of his occipital.
Well, that's correct at the initial autopsy, but he was also transported to Washington, D.C. on his back, I assume, not on his face. And so after death, you can still have pooling of the blood in the dependent areas if the lividity is not fixed. Or even if it is fixed, you can have pooling. So it is difficult to say without seeing the actual reddened area in the deep soft tissue, whether this is just a decompositional artifact or if it's indeed blunt force trauma. Now, they're not describing any injuries to the skin surface, which would still be there if he was, even if he's decomposed, you would still see injuries, abrasions, bruises, lacerations, things of that nature, even with decomposition. So it's difficult to give significance to this deep red area in the musculature of the deep soft tissues of the back of the head without further photographs or more information. To me, could it be blunt force trauma? Yes. Could it be a decompositional artifact? Yes. Could it be something from transport? Yes. Hard to say at this point.
Okay, hold on. Let me just take each one of those. And the rest of the panel, please, if you've got a question or a point, jump in. We need all of your brain power. Oh, that's an open invitation to
That's what I think. I think they drained the blood, but at the end of the day, they trying to go by how his position was. Now, the God is giving us options on what possible that could have happened, possibility that could have happened. This is what this guy's in here for. But Nancy's gonna cut him off, obviously, because Nancy don't believe that shit. It's a lot of cover up going on in Mississippi, allegedly. Let's continue.
Mobley to jump in. But three things you said, that there could still be pooling of the blood. And I don't want to be too DEFCON 4 into this and get lost in the weeds, but Nolan is dead. He's already been autopsied. Days have passed, and you're telling me that the blood could still sift down from the front of his face to the back of his neck in one specific area. Why wasn't it pulling all the way down his neck? Or why just that one area? I don't believe that when you have been deceased that long, you've already undergone autopsy, they've drained the blood from your body, that somehow in the few hours of transport, you're going to get pooling of the blood to one area in the back of your neck.
So first off, it's not a few hours of transport. It's from whenever the autopsy ended. He's placed on his back. Whenever he's picked up at the scene, he's been placed on his back. So all that comes into play. They don't drain all the blood from the body at autopsy. There's still blood in the body after autopsy. And also, decomposition causes the breakdown of tissues, including musculature, which can give a reddish decoloration from the actual decomposition process of the muscle. So all these have to be considered when you're saying a reddened area, because the doctor didn't call it hemorrhage, which is interesting to me. He called it a reddened area. So I don't know what he's describing. I would love to see pictures, but again, there's no description of a bruise or an abrasion or a laceration on the skin surface of the back of the head. So what the significance of this is? Could it be a decompositional change? Could it be something else like blunt force injury? It's hard to say at this point in time.
I find it very difficult to believe, Dr. Kendall Crowns, that not one, but two medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. Subcutaneous. What is that? Deep subcutaneous. What is that?
It's underneath the skin, meaning in the fat or the muscle underneath the skin.
Okay. Straight out to John trial attorney, founded John Mobley Law Firm. Okay, Mobley, have at it.
Well, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. There are a lot of things that I don't like about this presentation. I think the first problem I see is they put out this autopsy and they kind of gave you a lot of sizzle. They gave a big dog and pony show, but they didn't really make it clear on the findings and conclusions and how they could be interpreted. And I think that's kind of the problem with this case. They put all this stuff out there, all the legal terms, all this, forensic jargon, and now everybody's whipped up in a frenzy trying to understand what it means, speculating, guessing. And the reality of it is, unless you're an expert, a forensic expert, none of us are qualified to interpret those findings. Now, I've been involved in countless homicide cases where I've had to look at forensic autopsies and discuss the findings with experts. And that's what you have to do. And ultimately what it comes down to is they put this thing out there, this preliminary autopsy finding, and they did not present any real conclusions. And that is a problem. And to address your specific concern, Nancy,
Put him up.
about
Put up Mobley. Put up Mobley. Listen, I'm not vouching for the character of Crump or Sharpton. That said, of course, are you saying they were wrong not to put it out there? I think they were right to put it out there, whether it's inconclusive or not.
The manner in which they presented
Okay, what do you mean by that?
He just sat there and read it. And number one, I don't think he was the best person to read it. He's just kind of reading off medical and terms that he didn't do the best job of pronouncing. And they didn't really present a conclusive finding. And what that does is,
well, there is no conclusive finding, Mobley.
Well, he should have said that, because what he does, though, in the manner which it's presented, when you take a case like this, you take little bits and pieces and put them out there in that manner, what you're doing is you're feeding these conspiracy theories like, oh my God, there's some big mystery, some conspiracy about what happened, regarding saying, hey, here's the deal. In situations like this, based on the rate of decomposition, things like that.
Don't you get it, man? We still don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. He's got a red mark deep in subcutaneous tissue on the back of his head.
That's all. That right there tell us that he got hit in the head with something. Something happened. I told you, it's either he got hit in the head or they choked him out. Those are the only things I could think of why he got that mark, whatever going on in the back of his head. They hit him in the head with something or they choked him out. Because Nolan was not a small kid. He was a 6'1" kid, very healthy, athletic, and he was a star. He was trying to get to Division I football. And he was working his ass off. That kid got hit in the head or he got choked out. Let's continue with Nancy. Nancy ain't trying to hear that shit. Like I told people, she's not going to cover this story if she doesn't see a crime going on. And if it's not a crime going on, okay, how did he get in the water and why did y'all let him drown? Those are the other questions right there. Can y'all answer that? No, Warren couldn't answer none of that shit because Warren want to talk about boats, water, buddies, and Sesame Street. He ain't speak now one time about Nolan. But Nolan smiled and all this. We can hear that from Mama Love. That's her son. Let's continue with Nancy Grace. Smash that like button, people, for people that just joined in the building.
Wait.
Here's a
Go
problem
back to
with
Kendall
that, and I
Krause
want
real
to
quick.
address that. I want to address that.
Wait. Kendall. Where's Kendall? Why am I not seeing Kendall? Kendall, please turn around and show everybody what we're talking about, because I'm doing this. Show me occipital.
Occipital's right here. Back ahead.
How
right where your neck
in the
can tip.
world, out of his whole body, is that where the blood pools? I'm not buying it. And I'm not saying this is a homicide. I am saying it. There are a lot of disturbing circumstances surrounding this young man, the star athlete's death, and I am not letting it go. And I don't care how much hate mail you send me. I do not care. Okay, Mobley.
Shout out to Nancy. She said she getting hate mails allegedly. She said she don't care because she sees something going on here. How the hell he got all that going on in the back of his head? Come on, she been doing crime stories for 30 years. I know she got everybody got a little skeleton in the closet about them. Because I seen somebody in the chat said that, yo, I stopped rocking with Nancy, this and Nancy. I mean, everybody got skeletons in the closet. Ain't nobody perfect in this world, bro. But when it comes to her profession, she been covering this shit for a very long time. And there's something strange going on. And Mississippi got to answer this. We got a mark in the back of his head. We got a throat that's missing. That's all upper body on the neck. What the hell is Mississippi doing? Like I said, they got his throat on the goddamn shelf and they just looking at this shit. He said Colin Kaepernick need to get his refund. Nah, not yet, Rock. Because not for nothing. I'm going to keep it real with you, Rock. I'm going to keep it real with you. Not for nothing. We got good information off that press conference, off the second one. Because obviously we see that they holding shit back in Mississippi. They taking parts of this kid's body and they holding that shit back in Mississippi. So say that we never would have got that independent rock, we would have never known that shit, champ. Not for nothing. We would have never known that shit. They got his whole throat over there in Mississippi sitting on the goddamn shelf. They ain't doing nothing with that shit. And then they making excuses on why that mark is in back of his neck. Yeah, Nancy want all the smoke. She said, I don't care. Y'all sending me hate mail. I'm going to continue talking about this and I'm going to find out the truth. Shout out to Nancy Grace. Oh, we ain't done. Smash that like button. Let's get 250 likes in the building. Let's continue, gang.
What else? There at the end, who said it so eloquently, more questions spinning out because of the phone. Why was it on the boat? Why did he let the boat leave without it? And speaking of the boat, listen to this.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat?
Okay, there are innocent explanations for that, and there are nefarious explanations for that. But I do know this. They stated the boat was sinking. But was it?
At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock, okay? They arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs. So I'm wondering if this is the house where they got the phone. The boat travels to Fort Bayou. At 6:06, the boat returns to the original dock. Then, from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel?
You see, and that's the problem. We don't know what if you got a boat sinking problem. Why the hell are you still traveling through all these locations? And then Warren tried to cover it up. Remember, I just played y'all the second interview with Warren. Warren said the mechanical problem of the boat is what something had to do with the battery. He said something about the water. Hold up, let's go back to the water. Remember, he said the water was going over the battery. That's why they was having mechanical problems. If y'all paid attention on the second interview he just did with Tatum, he said that was a mechanical problem. He said the water was going over the battery or some shit like that. I don't believe that shit. Because y'all called a public towing company, cancel that. Then y'all made a dispatch that said everybody was on board. We don't know who's everybody. That's number one. Was Nolan on board? We don't know. Was his body on a boat and they brought his body to land and brought his body back and placed him the way he was placed for them to find on Monday morning? Allegedly. Let's continue.
To Fort Bayou, the original dock.
Was it? They
is on there. First, at 9:50.
More questions spinning out because of the phone. Why was it on the boat? Why did he let the boat leave without it? And speaking of the boat, listen to this.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So
you see, I don't understand. He just did an interview with Tatum, part 2. And remember Tatum asked him that question about the boat mechanical problem? He said it wasn't really sinking when he did the interview. He said it was the water going over the battery. But you called a dispatcher talking about you was sinking. What is it? Am I tripping here? Anybody in the comment? Did y'all hear him say that with that interview with Tatum part 2? He ain't mentioned nothing about no sinking. I know I'm not bugging, bro. He said no. He said a mechanical problem because the water was going over the battery. I don't know. Let's continue. Somebody said they remember that. Shout out to Shay. Yeah, Barbara said right. I thought I wasn't tripping. And water going over a battery don't mean you're gonna sink. The boat gonna stop. That's like our battery in a car get jammed up and all that. What's it gonna do? It's gonna stop. The whole car gonna stop. It ain't gonna end up blowing the F up or going off the road. It's gonna stop. It's a lot of questions. Let's continue. Warren messed up. You know you done effed up, right? Hey, Warren, you know you done effed up, right, with that interview, right? Tatum set you up for the bait. You know you done effed up, right? Shout out to Tatum. You know you done effed up, right?
So does that out the boat? NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat?
Okay, there are innocent explanations for that, and there are nefarious explanations for that. But I do know this. They stated the boat was sinking. But was it?
At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock, okay? They arrive.
We got somebody here. Shout out the red paint. I don't know if you know about boats. I don't know shit about boats. Like I said, I know how to swim, but I ain't a professional swimmer. But shout out to Red Paint. He said basically if that shit of plans and doesn't work, the boat will fill with water. So basically he's saying the shit will obviously sink. He said the battery's in the compartment at the back. If the plans doesn't work, the boat will fill with water. He said, yes, if the water is filling the battery, the compartment, it is a problem. I'm gonna go by your word on that. You in the chat, you giving us a good comment, so I'm gonna go by your word on that. But it's a lot of questions on this shit, Red Paint. Don't you agree? It's a lot of questions. Let's continue.
Arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs. So I'm wondering if this is the house where they got the phone. The boat travels to Fort Bayou. At 6:06, the boat returns to the original dock. Then, from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before. And
That's crazy. If that's true, it was an hour time gap and some change. Let me ask y'all a question. Remember they said there was a narrative that somebody seen the boy cleaning the boat? Remember they said they seen somebody cleaning the boats at night? Could it be possibly around that time? They was cleaning the boat by the hour? Was Nolan body on the boat? Did they actually injure Nolan on the boat? And then some blood and shit on the boat? Because we would never know this shit because Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Big Bad Wolf in town, you never went to go investigate the boats. That's why Al Sharpton, Nancy Grace, on Ben Crump, that's why everybody's on the sheriff's neck, because y'all never went investigate the boats. The boat is the main key. We don't know if this kid got injured on the boat. We don't know if a fight. You heard an argument on the video. Obviously, there was some arguments going on. Everybody is drunk. Everybody's doing what they doing. Why you didn't investigate the boat? You probably could have found some blood. You could have found anything, probably, allegedly. That shit crazy. How the hell you don't investigate a boat? When somebody get clock, boom, all in their car, what they do, gang? They investigate the car, right? They get the shells. They try to look, you know what I mean? They do what they do. Why y'all didn't investigate the boat? That's the fact. That boat should have been, man, that boat should have been in the station. They should have been trying to investigate the shit out that boat. All three boats. Because remember, they went out there with 3 boats. And remember, Warren on the first interview said that Nolan was on a boat with Wop, the other kid. Why y'all didn't investigate Wop boat? Where is Wop anyway? Wop, wait, whatever the hell your name is. Where the hell you at? You was the person that Nolan was on your boat. You can't make this shit up. And the only thing we get from Warren in this interview he did with Tatum, he just talked about the ocean, whatever, the river, the water, and the tides. Let's continue, gang. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got 500 people in the building, man. Let's continue, man.
And then they're just having that original dock. And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
From the Real TikTok Detective, and she's got a point. Does nobody have a problem with that? The boat is sinking when they call for help, and then they take.
This is the same question I'm trying to ask them, Gigi. The boat, the sheriff didn't even ask the tow. But see, the thing is, they called the private tow driver. But the sheriff didn't even go question that person and ask him how many people was on the boat. These are questions that you gotta ask people that's actually coming, because that's another witness of seeing how many people was on the boat. Is the tow driver. So shout out to Gigi for bringing that up, because absolutely the sheriff should have interviewed the tow driver. How many people you seen on the boat? Did you see Nolan on the boat, by the way? We don't got none of that type of goddamn information, because the sheriff in the town, he ain't doing his job. He over there eating donuts and hanging out with Katie, because everybody's hanging out with Katie. Katie's all over this narrative. I don't know why. Whoever the hell she is, if the girl even exists. It's crazy, man. Shout out to you, Gigi, because that's the same thing I asked. Why the hell they didn't interview that goddamn tow driver and ask him, did he see Nolan or anything? We don't even got a statement from that person. That's crazy.
Take the boat around for hours that night? Okay, Mobley, you don't have a problem with that?
I would want to know the nature of the malfunction of the boat and whether or not it was repaired. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Explain, please.
I mean, it's not complicated. I mean, what it comes down to is what was the nature of the complication of the boat and was it repaired? And if it was repaired properly, then I don't see any issue with it. And I want to be clear, those are legitimate questions. But again, as I alluded to earlier, when you start taking bits and pieces of the puzzle and you start putting them out there without context, that's when you start spreading misinformation. I would assume.
Well, you're right. But I certainly do not believe that this investigation needs to be shut down because there are potential innocent explanations. You don't just end an investigation because it could all be explained away. And I'm not saying his friends are responsible or not responsible, because I don't know. Is it true, Crouppen, that many of the people there that day have lawyered up and they're not talking? Is that true? Or have they, unbeknownst to me, have they cooperated and spoken to authorities?
I mean, from what we've seen, that was what happened. They all deleted their social media accounts right away. They lawyered up. So it seems as though they've been advised. And here's a big question for me, Nancy. Was the company that allegedly got the call that they were in distress, and their official statement was before assistance was rendered, the vessel owner advised that sea tow was no longer needed because help had already been obtained. Sea tow's involvement concluded at that point.
Sea tow, everybody, is two words, SEATOW. They come and render aid and haul in, tug in boats, ships that need help. Okay, hold on. Heather Barnhart with me, digital forensics expert, practical mobile forensics 4th edition. What about GPS? What can I learn from the GPS on that boat? Because I want to know.
If his phone is on the boat, it is tracking every location that the boat went to. I would also be curious on the last time the phone was unlocked, the last steps, even if it's not unlocked, the last steps will be tracked, and last general usage. Because we may be able to say the last time that Nolan was on his device and physically using it, which would be really helpful in this investigation.
Straight out to Brian Trasher joining us, Vice President, United Cajun Navy, who participated in the search for Nolan. A couple of questions. What can you tell me about GPS on boats, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, they operate just like any other kind of GPS. They get fed from satellites, and they keep archives of logs and trips and things like that. A couple of things I want to point out there, Nancy, because I'm probably the only person on the panel that's been to Horn Island. They said, going back to the phone and possible deleted messages and all that, when his mother at first said she thought that messages had been deleted, she later clarified that what she was talking about.
Now, I want y'all to hear what this guy got to say in this part. Because remember, this is the guy from the, rescue and search and all that, Navy, whatever, Cajun, United Cajun, whatever, and all that, SEAL, whatever. basically, remember when Mama Love said that Nolan loved to take pictures on Snapchat and all that type of shit? So obviously he goes on an app and use the cameras on the app. But see, but when you're on an island, you're not gonna get that type of, I guess, signal is what he's trying to say. So what he's trying to say is that maybe Nolan might have used his regular phone taking videos and photos. But see, we don't know that. I think you still could go on your app and take photos on Snapchat. It might be difficult to upload it, but you still could save it. That's like you go into your IG and you use the IG camera. You could take the photo and the video if you ain't got no signal, but you can obviously still save it to your camera roll. So it's a lot of strange shit going on, and that's the part that everybody's saying the delete shit going on. That they might have deleted pictures, photos, videos, text messages from the beginning because they know how their son is. He like to take videos and a lot of photos. But for some strange reason, we didn't get the news yet, but there's no photos and videos of Nolan, no pictures and videos on Nolan's phone. And that's kind of strange, to be honest. But he's trying to say, oh, there's no signal. I told a mom that maybe he just used his regular camera, whatever. You're not a a digital professional. I mean, you don't know about that. So you can't speak on that behalf, to be honest. But let's continue. He don't know what the hell he talking about. The only thing he could talk about is rescuing people and trying to find them. That's it.
She thought satellites, and they keep archives of logs and trips and things like that. A couple of things I want to point out there, Nancy, because I'm probably the only person on the panel that's been to Horn Island. They said, going back to the phone and possible deleted messages and all that, when his mother at first said she thought that messages had been deleted, she later clarified that what she was talking about, she thought it was odd that Nolan had not done any Snapchats, which was his favorite app, presumably. So the reason why he didn't do any Snapchats because he didn't have a signal. It's very hard to get a cell phone signal on Horn Island, and Snapchat doesn't upload if you don't have a signal. What I told him was to check his camera roll. If he wasn't able to upload on his app.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there for a quick second. Cause I want to ask Sha with no signal. I don't be on Snapchat and none of that. I don't take too many photos and all that. Like I used to do back in the days, whatever. But let me ask y'all a question. Can y'all still obviously you probably can't upload, but can you save a photo and a video if you use the Snapchat camera? Can you obviously still save it to your camera roll? Let me ask somebody in the chat. Maybe somebody in the chat might know about Snapchat. If there ain't no signal, you can still use as a photo and a video, but you can still save it to your camera roll on your phone. Somebody said, yeah. So if Mama Love said that, now only one person said, yeah. I want to know if there's a few other. Okay, we got a couple people say, yeah. I'm gonna go by your word. He said, Cap, you can still Snapchat with no signal. Domo said you can still Snapchat with no signal. Gohar said, yeah, nah, you can still Brandy said yes, Shay said yeah. Deanna Robinson said yeah. So that tells us that there obviously was some deleted shit going on his phone. But see, now the thing is, a lot of people thinking about this. But Smoke, how the hell they got on his phone? Maybe he got his phone locked with the fingerprint or the face on recognition. I'm gonna put it like this. I bet any money that he probably had his phone locked on a face on recognition. And if your body unalive, the only thing you got to do is turn your goddamn face and put the phone next to your face. Hello. 99% of the time, people got their phones on face recognition. If your body's unalive, you just got to turn your face, and that's it. If you use your thumb, whatever, on your phone, whatever, for that shit, they could use his thumb on the phone to open up the goddamn phone and go to Snapchat and delete them photos and videos. Because I guarantee you, if I'm lying or flying, I'm gonna ride with Mama Love on this because she know her son the most. The pops know them too. The brothers know him. They know their brother. If he's one of them dudes that use Snapchat a lot and love to take photos and videos, on 4th of July, he would have took a lot of photos and videos on the island. I guarantee you that. You not with your original crew. You with your second crew. the white boys. You think Nolan wasn't gonna take no photos and videos while he out there? And then he came across his little original crew, Javon and all them. If he didn't take multiple photos and videos, I guarantee you he had to take by at least 4 to 5. And somebody put it in the comment section also. I guarantee you he took photos and videos before they even went to the island. You know how you can remember the island is almost 10 miles away. So you telling me Nolan wasn't on the boat taking videos of the ocean, the sun? What you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me the little man was asleep throughout the whole ride? Hell no. He wanted to take the videos of himself drinking. That's that part. He definitely wanted to. No, I ain't said that, Red Paint. You got a point on that. Shout out to Red Paint for saying that. Because Nolan not stupid. He's not gonna take a video of himself drinking because like you said, it's gonna risk his spot on the football team and all that shit. But I guarantee he got photos of everybody else where he at. They probably deleted that shit. Let's continue though. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells, man.
Maybe he just took pictures with his signal on Horn Island, and Snapchat doesn't upload if you don't have a signal. You know, what I told him was to check his camera roll. If he wasn't able to upload on his app, maybe he just took pictures with his regular camera and saved it to his camera roll, see if there's any pictures on there. But there's no evidence to suggest that anybody went in and deleted any text messages or anything like that that day. So I just want to, we've been fighting so much information out there, just don't want to help spread it by not addressing that.
Brian Trasher, you and I go back a long way with your involvement with United Cajun Navy. I only have one question for you. Are you a digital forensics expert?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No further questions. Thank you. Brian Trasher, let me talk about something that you do.
Hey, yo, Nasty, yo, she ruthless. She asked him, he's a digital forensic expert, whatever, in technology. He said, nah. She said, well, what the hell are you talking about? No further question. Let's talk about what you do for a profession. Hey, yo, shout out to Nancy, man. Nancy is crazy, yo. She be putting these people on their place. Let's continue, though, man.
Do know about, which no further questions. Cajun Navy, I only have one question for you. Trasher, you and I go back a long way with your involvement with United Cajun Navy. I only have one question for you. Are you a digital forensics expert?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No further questions. Thank you. Brian Trasher, let me talk about something that you do know about, which includes boat GPS. What exactly, last time for tonight, what exactly was seen when Nolan's body was found? Every detail.
I want y'all to pay attention to this part right here. For the people that didn't watch this, y'all watching it now. Now, this guy is going to explain how his body was positioned. Where was that? On the borderline of the sand and the water's hitting him. So basically, he's like on the borderline of the sand and the water. He's right like in the middle of it. And he's face down. I want y'all to clearly hear what he got to say about this. Because it clearly shows, allegedly, and I'm saying this allegedly, this is just my opinion. It clearly tells me somebody set that body in that position the way they found them. There's no wave, ain't no wave gonna wash your body like that to the borderline of the sand and the water like that. There's no way, bro. You're not gonna get washed in the water like that, and you're just gonna be in that position. That's not gonna happen. I'm just sorry. Let's continue though. Clearly hear what he gotta say though.
When Nolan's exactly was, which includes boat GPS, what exactly, last time for tonight, what exactly was seen when Nolan's body was found? Every detail.
Okay, so the body was right at the shoreline, right where the water meets the sand. It was laying face down.
The body is exactly on the shoreline, baseline, borderline. It's on the shoreline. That body was placed there, bro. Y'all know what the hell is a shoreline? That's why I called it a borderline. That's when it's half sand and a little bit of water just hitting you. And his body was face down, y'all. No way in the world. And hold up, let me remind y'all. But before we continue, he was missing for a day and a half. And your body appeared just like that? I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Let's continue, though. I don't believe it.
And like I said,
was found. Exactly was seen when Nolan's body was found. Every detail.
okay, so the body was right at the shoreline, right where the water meets the sand. It was laying face down. And like I said earlier, the swim trunks that were described and photographed, that he was photographed in the day he died, or the day he presumably died, where he was still wearing, did not appear to be wearing shoes or a shirt. And yeah, face down, and there were law enforcement kind of standing all around him, just like whatever they were doing, their jobs, I'm sure. But that is what I saw from the air.
I'm looking at it. Let's see, he's face down. His left foot is on top of what looks to be some kelp that has washed ashore. He looks almost as if he's sleeping. He is face down. He's wearing, at first it appeared to be a shirt. He's not wearing a shirt upon zooming in on it. He's barefoot. I don't see anything on his wrists or arms such as, a watch. I don't see that. It looks to me like he's sleeping on his stomach with his right leg a little bent outward and his left leg outward as well, like he's asleep on a mattress. His left arm is out and down like he's a stomach sleeper, and it looks to me like his head is turned to one way into the sand. Now, given that position, I see no way that blood could have pooled in the back of his neck. He is absolutely face down, but that is another argument for Dr. Kendall Crowns and myself for another night. This is what we know tonight. What we are learning from the second and independent autopsy is we know nothing, but Crump did hit the nail on the head as it relates to this. The critical moment is when and how Nolan Wells entered the water.
At the time of this report, this forensic pathologist does not know the condition of Nolan Wells. He did not know whether he was conscious or unconscious when he entered the water. He said that would be significant. He said he did not know whether he was forced into the water or unforced into the water. He said that would be significant. So he said the condition of Nolan Wells before he entered the water would be the crux of the matter. It would be of utmost importance to being able to determine a cause and manner of death.
How did Nolan Wells end up in the water? How is there so much confusion about who was with him last? Why can't I identify how everybody in that crowded area on Horn Island left, and what left him there standing, waving his arms, don't leave? It's not making sense, and we are not resting until it does make sense. Listen.
He had a deep love for the Lord and an unwavering faith that was evident in the way he lived his life. As much as our hearts are broken, we find peace in knowing that our son is resting in the arms of the Lord.
Get him, Nancy. Nancy knows something going on. Ain't no way in the world everybody gonna leave him. Like Nancy said, what? Nolan was just standing there with his hands up, talking about, yo, I need a ride. Ain't nobody seen him. Doesn't make no sense. The way she broke down because she got the photo. Nancy got the photo on her phone. She broke down the position, how he was positioned, his body. That shit sound like somebody placed him there, bro. Y'all want me to go back to what Nancy said, how she broke the position, how he was? Because she got the photo. She just don't want to show the public. She got respect. She ain't gonna show it. That shit seems like somebody placed him there, allegedly. Ain't no way in the world that body was there for a day and a half in the water and it just washed up the way it washed up and they found them Monday morning. No way, bro. There's no way. They had drones out there, bro, looking for the kid that night. Let's get to another interview with the United Cajun rescue guy, whatever. He did an interview with TMZ, and hear what he got to say again.
Being found. Did you take any images or document that moment?
So I started taking images of the scene on the ground. There were several law enforcement boats and personnel. And later on, when I looked at the pictures and zoomed in, I noticed that you could actually see the body laying on the shoreline in those pictures. I was not trying to take a picture of the body at the time, but it ended up being captured in the wide angle.
And what exactly do you see in the photos?
I see a body that matches the description of Nolan Wells, laying face down at the shoreline, right at the water's edge. And he was wearing swim trunks and, was not moving, obviously. It just looked like he was sleeping on the beach.
Now knowing that the family is looking for any information about his body being discovered that day and washing up on shore, do you plan to hand over these photos and these images to the family or to their team?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's obviously images that I hope that his family never has to see. However, anything, and I'm going to repeat this, anything that Christine and Elmore want from the United Cajun Navy, we will not tell them no. We will give them whatever they want, anytime they want. All they have to do is ask.
So once they ask you, you will then hand over anything that you do have and any information that you have from that day?
That's correct.
Why didn't your team communicate to the family about what you saw that day?
Yeah, I just didn't think that it would be helpful to his mom as she was just finding out that her son was dead. That I saw the body. Human curiosity is gonna probably ask me to describe what I saw, and I just think that would have made it worse. Certainly wasn't trying to hide anything from her. And as a matter of fact, I was 400 feet in the air, and there was plenty of law enforcement on the scene, right there with his body. So anybody could have described what they saw and what they saw up close. Now, later on, I found out that they were not given access to the body and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it could have been helpful if I just told them the little bit that I knew, but I didn't know that at the time.
He putting that shit on the law enforcement. I like that though. See, I ain't peeped that right there. Because I gotta agree with the rescue and search guy or whatever, United Cajun, whatever. You up in the air. He got photos from up top the air. Now he's throwing the law enforcement under the bus, as you see. He said if anybody want to give Mama Love and them pictures and information on how his body was positioned, it should have been law enforcement. It should have been the sheriff's department. Because they was at the scene. But like I said, the sheriff ain't doing his job. You ain't speak to Mama Love. You ain't told Mama Love how his body was positioned. You ain't show her nothing. You ain't tell her nothing, anything. He's throwing he's throwing them under the bus. Because he said if anybody could have told Mama Love, Nolan mom, about how his position, pictures, or anything, it should have been the goddamn sheriff's department. And I agree with him that. That's how I know they covering something up. He's in the sky. They on the ground. They found the body. So y'all tell me who covering it up, allegedly. You can't cover nothing up from the sky, but you could cover something up if you're on land and you're around that body, like he clearly said. He throwing them under the bus. He's saying, nah, y'all ain't gonna, because he hearing what the internet's saying. Why you think he's doing these interviews with TMZ and Nancy Grace? Because he's hearing what the interview on the internet saying. They gotta back themselves up. They like, nah, hold up. We up in the air. I got photos, but them people on the land, they surrounded that body down there. They need to go get Mama Love some photos and all that and give them the answers they need on how his body looked when they got there. It's that sheriff. It's the sheriff. Allegedly, it's the sheriff. Because clearly that guy threw you, sheriff, under the bus in your whole department. With this interview he just did with TMZ today. Nasty work, man. The sheriff is there for first line of defense. Exactly, Jay Good. That's why he throwing that department under the bus. Y'all clearly heard him what he said. And he said if they want the photos, I'll give it to them. The only photos they got is in the sky, but they could zoom in. You know, they got them they got them good, they got them good cameras and shit that could zoom into the body. And plus they could lower down, So, but they wasn't on the land, obviously. This nasty work. Let's continue though. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got over 600. We good with the likes. Smash that like button for the people that's just coming in though.
The response, the public, because why haven't you arrested Warren after he made several admissions to committing 2 crimes in Mississippi and being a conspirator to another?
I want you to hear what old girl got to say. Now, I played a video yesterday and somebody told me she's a lawyer or something. And I went and did my research. Follow her platform. She does a lot of crime shit like this. She's definitely dope. Sometimes she overreact, but that's her personality. That's what she do. But what she about to say, I said this shit 3-4 lives ago. The sheriff should have locked them up because they underage drinking, number one, and they riding a boat. Warren clearly said in this interview he was riding a boat and they was drinking. That's underage drinking and driving a boat. That's like underage drink. That's like underage drinking and driving a car. So why the sheriff is not doing no investigation with them, investigation on the boat? That clearly could get you an opening to what you got to do in an investigation because we got alcohol involved. And now you can interview all these people that was drinking on a boat, and now you can see what's going on, Mr. Sheriff. She's going to break this shit down because she clearly got a point on this. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video.
Another crime. I better owe us a response, the public, because why haven't you arrested Warren after he made several admissions to committing 2 crimes in Mississippi and being a conspirator to another crime? So Warren got on Django's podcast and decided that he was going to make some admissions without the presence of the lawyer that they lawyered up on. So when we said that they committed crimes, he just admitted to, one, committing a crime in the state of Mississippi of driving a boat while drinking. He also admitted to being underage and drinking in the state of Mississippi. And then we got to talk about the co-conspirators, because who brought the alcohol for the individuals under the age of 21 to be drinking? Was it stepmama Judge? Was it your daddy? Was it your mama? Or was it her man? One of y'all or multiple of y'all are responsible. Now let's also talk about the theft of Nolan's phone. You see, Nolan's phone was probably under his parents' contract. His parents did not give y'all permission to withhold his phone. And y'all did.
She do got a point. Who contract Nolan is under on the phone? So if y'all was tampering on the phone, that's absolutely a search warrant over there to go arrest y'all because y'all was tampering with his phone for damn near several hours. I said this in my last live. How long they had his phone, gang? Let me remind y'all. Mama Love friend went there by 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock around there, 12:30 probably the latest, because they reported Nolan missing by 12 o'clock p.m. 12 o'clock a.m. Mama Love, Javon's mother went to the house and got the phone. So we're going to say this is third shift, 12:45 around there. It depends how far they live. You know how long they had that boy phone? They had that boy phone from the time they left at 4:30 all the way till 12 a.m. And you telling me there's no investigation, there's no interview we got to do with them? And Nolan, you can't go on somebody's phone and have possession when somebody's actually unalive, because allegedly you could be covering evidence up. This shit crazy, yo. They broke so many laws. Exactly. Mickey could have said no better right here. They broke so many laws, and the sheriff absolutely don't got an interview, nothing going on. It doesn't make no sense. It just doesn't make no sense. They had this kid phone possession for almost 8 hours down there. 5, 6, 7, 8 hours down there, they had that boy phone. From 4:30 when they left all the way to 12 o'clock midnight. They had his phone. You know how much time that is, bro? To do what you got to do to cover up a lot of shit. But we'll see what happens.
Did. Phone was probably under his parents' contract. His parents did not give y'all permission to withhold his phone. And y'all did. For however long that y'all did, that was withholding. And y'all did not tell his mother that y'all had his phone. That's another charge. So, Sheriff Ledbetter, where is the fucking arrest? He made the admissions that he should have made to you with his lawyer. And what fucking lawyer gonna tell their client to go on and admit to committing crimes? A clear one? Oh, okay. This is why this is the scheme that MAGA Mississippi set up to try to play in our fucking face and cover up the homicide of Nolan. Y'all have no idea what fear he suffered or experienced the last moments of his life. And for his parents have to fight to the end for y'all to do your fucking job. There's a safe place in hell.
Warren sits down with a black creator, Officer Tatum. Okay, Warren is one of the boys that was on that boat with Nolan Wells. Again, he gave his first interview with a black creator by the name of Officer Tatum. Now, Officer Tatum has put part 1 up over on his YouTube, and it's not, he's kind of like, you know, baby feeding us the information from the interview, right? Because he starts the interview where he's asking Warren, you know, did you kill Nolan Wells? But in the 16-minute clip that he had on YouTube, he never gets to that question. So that's the kind of gets you to watch it, you know, get his revenue up. But we never get that answer. So he's going to drop a part 2 at a future date. Now, during this interview, Officer Tatum asked Warren if he knew his parents, like how close was he to Nolan Wells, because his mom had went online and said that she didn't really know them that well. So Warren said that Nolan Wells was at his home almost every single day. Okay. He said weekdays and weekends, we never really hung out at Nolan's house. Nolan always hung out at our home. He said he met his father a couple of times in 8th grade. They're 18 years old now, so 8th grade, they're in college. So he's saying that he met his father a couple of times in 8th grade.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together. Mm-hmm. Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times, was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back.
Remember when I tell y'all he always talk about his friends, his buddy? So if your friends are real tight, where Nolan fit in this? if you got a friend tight group, whatever you want to call it, where does Nolan fit in that tight friend group you got? Where do he fit in? Because according to this interview you gave us with Tatum, Little Warren, let me tell you something. You didn't explain now one goddamn time where Nolan fit in that side of your friend group that you got going on tight with. You didn't explain that shit. You didn't explain it now one time. The only thing we heard was water waves, boats, and your tight friend group. Because you're covering up you and your tight friend group that you want to cover up. You didn't explain how tight Nolan is with you and your tight and your other friends. The only thing you said, y'all been friends since 8th grade. That's when y'all really got close. During COVID season. You clearly said that. Everybody got close during COVID season. That's all you had to do was talk on the phone, talk on the goddamn phone. What are you talking about here? People probably was on the internet talking to people they probably never talked to a day in their life when they see you. Everybody got close during COVID season. That don't mean you his best friend. That don't mean you got his back 100%. That don't mean your other tight friend group you got over there like Nolan. And if they don't like Nolan, will you protect Nolan from them? Because I believe one of your tight friend group did something to Nolan. I'm not saying you did it, but I feel like your other friends did something. Because not everybody you bring around is going to like everybody. And that's all we've been hearing. You and your little tight group. But where does Nolan fit in that group? You never explained that. And you had a whole interview with Tatum and you never explained it. Where does he fit in your group? Is he part of the boys? Is he part of the tight whatever y'all got going on over there? Because you never explained it, champ. You never explained it. You can't make this shit up, yo. Because if that's my friend, I'm gonna say, yo, Nolan and all my friends, my tight, oh, we all tight. We all buddies. We all in the group chat. I look at Nolan like my friend group over there that he got. You never said that. Let's continue, man.
Back home from
guys. Yeah, and you guys.
All the times in 8th grade.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together. Mm-hmm. Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And, I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and, we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies. And, Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat. And, I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never, you know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot. But I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else.
You can't make this shit up, man. You really can't, bro. You just can't. When I go over that interview, I just be like, yo, he talks so much about his friends and him and how tight they was, but you never explain how Nolan fit in with your crew. Like, how tight was your crew with Nolan? Did any of your friends had problems with Nolan? Those are questions that we need to know. And he never explained that shit, and that's what bugged me out.
So Warren, I'm gonna ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I want.
All right, before I play this interview, y'all want me to go through this first interview? Put it in the chat. Put yes. Y'all want to go review the first interview with Warren? Because we done seen the second one already. I'll play the second one in the beginning of the video. Y'all want to go back? Because I feel like the first interview is most important. Because he don't say shit about Nolan, man. In the second interview, they're on the goddamn beach. I don't know why Tatum went on the beach for it with him, but the shit is crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, give me a couple of yes. Y'all want to go through the first interview? We've been here about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I mean, we could do another little 40 minutes, 30 minutes. It's on you. It's on y'all, gang. He said you couldn't be. What Mickey said he couldn't be his best friend, and I had met his mom and dad. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Mick. Shout out to Mick, man. I've been seeing you joining the chat, man. Shout out to you, champ. Know what I mean? Thank you. That's what I've been screaming. Shout out to everybody that been saying, yeah, we're gonna get to the first interview. Thank you, Mick. How the hell that's your friend and you never been at their house, bro? Like, yo, you know what's crazy, Mick? I guarantee you, gang. His little friend Nick, whatever group he got, his best friends, I bet you he been at their house. Birthday parties, holidays, Super Bowl parties, sports events, all that. I bet you he been to theirs plenty of times. I bet you he probably met a kid just like him at 8th grade, and he probably been at that kid house more than he been at Nolan house. And I don't want to throw the culture in, but y'all know what I'm saying. Let me repeat myself. I bet he met a kid just like him, repeat myself, just like him, at 8th grade, and I bet you he been at that kid house way more the same time he know Nolan, just like he know that kid, more than he been at Nolan house. I guarantee you that. During COVID, everybody got tight. People, especially these kids, they was playing online video games, all that. I bet you him and Nolan got tight playing video games online during COVID. How much I want to bet? That's all them kids was doing during COVID at 8th grade. They was playing video games. You think him and Nolan got tight on the phone? Hell no. They was playing Call of Duty and NBA 2K and shit like that. And he thought Nolan was cool. So when COVID was over, he invited Nolan to the first cookout, 2021. And Nolan been tight with them since 2021 because that was his first invite. 2020, we was locked down, y'all. You couldn't go nowhere. So the only thing these kids are doing at 8th grade, I got a child myself at that age. She's a little older than Nolan, a couple of years, a little 2 years older than Nolan, whatever. But at that moment, I remember my daughter was a freshman in high school. The only thing she was doing, we used to be on the phone. It was like, Dad, I'm bored as hell, Dad. I'm like, what you doing? I'm playing video games online. That's all them kids was doing. If you got kids, you know what I'm talking about. Think about 2020 and think about what your kids was doing during COVID. They got tight with other kids from their school that they usually don't get tight with. But during COVID, they all playing video games. They all got tight. 2021 come around. Now Nolan is at their house. Now he met a whole nother group of white friends. You gotta look at the timeline, man. I'm only going by the timeline what Warren's telling us. He said we really got tight during COVID. 8th grade. I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping. I'm only going by what he's telling us. Next year, Nolan's at the cookout for 2021, nigga. Let's go to his first interview. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video.
Did you kill? So Warren, I'm gonna ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan? All right, Warren. We had a chance to get to know each other over the last 2 days. Went out to Horn Island, so I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things. And the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But, you know, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, you know, get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together. Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never. You know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else. So,
and walk me through the day of 4th of July where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? It's a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together? Did you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. You know, being from the Gulf Coast, there's boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed. Everybody.
There we go. When you start talking about this goddamn water shit, now we about to get to the water, the tides, and all this. But you see, my thing is, when you talk about Nolan in the beginning, you should have said that Nolan. You see, I would have asked. See, if I was Tatum, I would have asked him the question like, okay, Nolan got along with you, but did Nolan get along with the other friends? That would have been my question. Before we would have got to the next question, going to the island. My question would have been, and Tatum, I don't know if it ain't come across your mind. I don't know if you forgot, but damn, you should have hit Smoke News. I would have told you straight up, not for nothing, respectfully. Yo, make sure you ask him, did Nolan get along with his other friends? Because that would have had him in a little shaky mood. I would have just threw that right at him. Boom. Did Nolan get along with your other friends? Was there anything like, I mean, any altercation going on? Because, you know, that's what the internet is saying. I'm pretty much sure he hearing what the internet is saying. Oh, yeah, I know the stepmom is hearing what the internet is saying. Did Nolan get along with everybody else? Okay, you telling us you got along with Nolan, but did everybody else around you get along with Nolan? Let's continue.
Everybody's going out.
Did you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. Being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I or my family and I are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island or, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean.
My bad, Rock. Shout out to Rock for that $5 cash app, man. Shout out to Rock for that $5 cash app. Appreciate that, Rock, man. You always show love. Really appreciate that. I had my shit on silent. I ain't see that cash app. Anybody else want to support the channel? You could do a super chat, cash app, or you can actually get your membership, Team Smooth. Appreciate that, Rock. Let's go.
Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year. And he was, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also and like to go on the boat. Not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, on the water, And, Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. Huh?
Very, very big deal. And, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went and with my...
Them niggas love McDonald's, right? You just had to bring McDonald's up, huh? Yeah, I went to McDonald's. Nolan wasn't with me. Went and got a little double cheeseburger with fries, little 4-piece nuggets. Know what I mean? Them niggas love McDonald's. I swear to God, they love McDonald's. But I'm gonna ask you a question then. Since you went to McDonald's and Nolan wasn't with you, Warren, see Tatum, you should have asked. Even though I know this not a little police investigation, integration, whatever you want to call it. Pardon me for pronouncing a little effed up. Pardon my language. I'm a little loop, but I would have asked him that question. When you went to McDonald's, where the hell was who's with Nolan was with? Where was Nolan? Where he was at? Who he was with? Nigga want to bring McDonald's up. Yeah, all right, nigga. Goddamn well you ain't going to McDonald's. Hey, McDonald's, can we get a camera of seeing Warren pulling up at McDonald's? Can we? Hey, Sheriff, can you go find out if Warren really went to McDonald's?
My buddy... I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice.
So you and Watt, we could obviously see, pardon me, that you and Watt is obviously close. Y'all very close. Y'all very close friends. So you went out there with Watt to go do what you're doing. But this whole interview about where's Nolan whereabouts. So when you and Watt was doing a little boat thing, whatever, y'all was putting things on a boat, whatever y'all was doing, because this is what you saying. This is exactly what you're saying. Where was Nolan, though? And who was Nolan hanging with? That's why if I was Tatum, I would have asked him, was Nolan cool with your other friends? You know, did Nolan look at your other friends like a brother? How Nolan looked at you like a brother, according to Warren? Because you saying all this, yeah, you know, I went to McDonald's, I got a little cheeseburger, 4-piece nuggets, a little bit of fries and all this, little Diet Coke. You know, they love their Diet Coke, little Diet Coke, whatever. And you know what I mean? I linked up with Wyatt. We started putting things on the boat. Where was Nolan though? Nolan spent the night with y'all Friday. Hey Tatum, I hope you know that Nolan spent the night with them Friday, right? You know Mama Love said that. Where was Nolan and who he was with? You said that's why I keep saying he's protecting him and his boys. He don't care about Nolan. Because this whole interview that you're doing with Tatum, it's about Nolan. It's about his whereabouts. This whole shit that we doing, it's about Nolan whereabouts on the timeline. So now you saying before y'all hit the island, you went to McDonald's, you did this, you did that. Where was Nolan though? Who he was chilling with? Did Nolan want McDonald's, nigga? Did you ain't buy no McDonald's for Nolan? So you only bought McDonald's for yourself, right? That's a lie. Because I know kids like you, and you come from a little rich family. When you buy McDonald's, you treating your whole little best friends. So you telling me you ain't treat Nolan for the McDonald's? Where was Nolan? You was the only one hungry? Because last time I seen, when I be around y'all little neighborhoods and it's a McDonald's in your neighborhood, it be about 100, it be about damn near 20 white kids at that McDonald's. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm talking about the white suburban neighborhoods that got McDonald's. I've been in plenty of them shits. I just walk in, yo, I need a little cheeseburger. I walk in, it be about 20 little white kids and they're teenagers. They love McDonald's. So you telling me you ain't offering Nolan no McDonald's? You the only one bought McDonald's? And then second question is, when you went to McDonald's and you hooked up with Watt and you putting things on your boat, where was Nolan? Who he was hanging with? Hey, yo, Tatum, not for nothing, respectfully, your questions was horrible. They was horrible. Because this whole case is about Nolan timeline. It's about the timeline. It's about what he was doing on the land before he got to the island, and it's about the timeline on the island. What the hell we here? What the hell you think we here? Just hearing about when he went to McDonald's? It's about Nolan timeline. This is not about Warren and his timeline. He the only nigga wanting McDonald's. Let me tell you something, man. My homies tell me, yo, man, yo, smoke. I'm about to go to McDonald's and shit. Yo, man, nigga, go grab me grab me a little fish fillet or something, man. Nigga, we about to go to an island where there ain't no McDonald's at. You know I'm gonna get something to eat. Remember when Ben Crump said, I'm about to mess y'all head up with this. Y'all ready? Matter of fact, I got the video still here. I played it at the beginning. Y'all probably didn't catch it. Remember when Ben Crump said that the independent autopsy guy wanted to know, because his stomach, it was something about they did in the original autopsy that doesn't show how long he was in the water and what did he ate during that time before he got there. Because that shit is showing your stomach what you ate. It'll show something during the autopsy. Mississippi haven't give us nothing. You telling me Nolan didn't get a bite of nothing before he got to the island? Warren clearly said he went to McDonald's before they went to the island. Did Nolan ate before he went to the island? Because Ben Crump said the independent autopsy said he wanted to know that also. Because he could review that Nolan actually ate something several hours, or at that time, he could try to figure it out, something. They didn't give no statement, no document, nothing. And they got the body right away. They got the body a day and a half, and that's enough time to show that somebody, how long they was in the water and how long they haven't ate nothing. Your stomach gonna show everything if y'all don't know that. You the only nigga that went to McDonald's? I don't see that. They took his stomach. They took certain parts, bro. His throat and everything. His throat wasn't the only thing they took. They took a piece of his stomach. I could go back and play that clip that Ben Crump said. By the time they got it, I think they kept it actually. That's why the independent autopsy guy asking them, like, what's going on with that? Because I could actually figure out what was the last time he ate before he got to that island, if that evidence is still there. I'm just going to review the evidence y'all did first, and then I'm a second review it. That nigga clearly said he went to McDonald's. Everybody ate McDonald's before they went to that island. I could clearly see that. I could clearly see that.
And Nolan was not with me. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, you know, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. Huh?
Very, very big deal. And, I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me, and
so who house did Nolan spend the night then? Because Mama Love clearly said that he spent the night Friday. He left with y'all Saturday morning. Y'all left 9 in the morning. Hello. So who house he spent the night with? Ah, man. If you so tight with Nolan, you telling me that Nolan spent the night at you and your boys. He spent the night. That's what I'm trying to figure out, how tight he was with everybody else that spent the night at the house. Was there any type of jealousy among your friends against Nolan that you know of? Because if I'm spending the night at somebody's house and I'm not tight with his friends like that, let me tell y'all something. I'm not going to be hanging around too much around his friends. I don't got to bond with them. I got to bond with him. So I'm going to be around him more. Pause. This shit crazy.
I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who are you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, you know, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, you know. There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, I mean, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were.
But nobody don't know nothing. Make it make sense. All the people, that's why I said when you do interviews, be careful what you're saying. Because actually, we got rebuttals for that shit. And the rebuttal is actually, well, all them people on the island, like Al Sharpton and everybody else is saying, Nancy Grace, how the hell nobody ain't seen what happened to Nolan? Let's continue.
We were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Pt.2 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell.
One out there with the second interview, they didn't give us no information. I just played the second interview in the beginning of the show. Didn't give us no information. Yeah, I went out there, and I mean, respectfully, Tatum, you went out there, but you ain't give us no info. He just sat there and looked at your face and hit you with the 52 fake out and talked about the water and waves. Let's continue. Shit is crazy.
You know, the audience, like, what was this trip like? You know, how was the waters? You know, did you guys do anything in between?
Here we go with the water. Didn't I tell you they love to bring that water shit up?
Between the time you rode and the time you get to the island, was there music? Is it like a big party? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, you know how, I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, you know, we're just trying to make sure everybody, you know, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like, it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up, because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island with
of course not
a few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people.
Why Tatum keep bringing that up? You keep saying that everybody is over here delusional and bugging out, acting like that he was on the island with just 4 or 5 people. No, the reason why people bugging out and being bugged out and doing all this press conference and doing independent autopsy, because there was hundreds of thousands of people on the island and nobody act like they don't know what happened to this kid named Nolan. That's the reason why this shit is going on the way it's going on. Why you keep saying that people was being delusional, thinking that Nolan was on the island with only 5 people? That's not the case. Let's continue.
People doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles.
Yeah.
Of boat.
Yeah.
When we went out there earlier, or not
Miles.
earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So do you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like every area of Horn Island was covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do you do?
When you talk, I hope you had your lawyer by you. Because when you mentioned that every corner of the island was covered, once again, nobody didn't see nothing that happened to Nolan, right? But every part of the island was covered, according to you. There was thousands of people out there. Nobody didn't see nothing. Nobody don't know nothing. Nobody know what happened. Let's continue.
You do. When I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. Everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, all the drinks and food that they need because, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and
Do me a favor, gang. Smash that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes in the building, man. Let's smash the count. Let's try to get 400 likes. And for the people, get your membership. Get your Team Smoke membership, man. Support the channel. Cash chat, super chat, any ways necessary. You already know. I appreciate it. But smash the like button. That shit is absolutely free. Let's go. Because this dude is lying, allegedly.
we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. Then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women, you probably had alcohol.
Of
so
course,
y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. In a group, I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, everybody my age, and even people older than us were, over there. It was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan, and, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan, and I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So,
yeah, and Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So.
And then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And like explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying and
Correct.
they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
And we played that interview in the beginning because he did the second interview and he ain't explained shit. Only thing he said, there was some water going into the battery, and that was the mechanical problem. Man, listen, you can't make this shit up, man. Let me read a couple chats, man. You can't make this shit up, yo. Hell, that's what I was about to ask. I was about to ask the same shit, Lola. Was on Nolan on goddamn group chat. I said this shit about 30 minutes ago. We always hear about your buddies and all that, but where did Nolan fit with your buddies? Where he fit with that group? Was he in your group chat? Where he fit in your group chat, or where he fit with your other buddies? You never explained that. You said group chat, my buddies, if I got a down day, they'll lift me up and this and that. And obviously Nolan is not in that group chat. So my thing is, that your buddies did they love Nolan the way you love Nolan, allegedly, as a brother? Because I could see in a group chat they probably was talking shit about Nolan. And you're not gonna go back and tell Nolan because those are your real friends on the group chat. Hello. You think he gonna go back and tell Nolan everything your group chat, your best friends you grew up from? You think you're gonna go back and tell him Nolan everything? I don't see that happening. Remember, you and Nolan get tight to 8th grade, COVID season. So I could see the group chat, they probably talking crazy about Nolan. I don't know what you saying, but I don't see you going back telling Nolan what they said. Hello. So where did Nolan fit with your group? That's all I want to know. Can't make this shit up. Cannot make this shit up. Nolan was in a group chat. I wish he would have, Miss Special, I wish he would have said that shit like clearly, like, yeah, Nolan was part of the group chat. That's why I said niggas be dancing around that shit though. So we don't really know. This shit crazy, man. Because I'm going to make sure I say everything I got to say to get my ass out of this situation if I was Warren. With all these little altercations, all these little allegations going against me, I'm going to make sure I clear this shit out. Man, Nolan was part of our group chat. This nigga ain't say that shit at all. So I don't know. It's like he's just go around shit. It's the way his words are using. I don't know. It's the way. I guess the words he's using. I don't know what it is. The words I use, I'm gonna make sure they clear. And I'm gonna make sure you hear that shit clearly. Nolan was part of my group chat. We was all friends. So we don't got no confusion going on the internet. That's the way I would have said it. He ain't saying shit because he has something to do with it, allegedly. For him to say best friend, he sure has weird ways to being a friend. His friends was not Nolan friends. I smell that. That's what I'm saying. His friends was not Nolan friends, bro. I put money on that shit. I put money on that. That Warren friends was not friends with Nolan. I don't see all of them was kumbaya with Nolan. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If he never came to the house after all those years of friendship, I can't trust you. That's a fact. To be continued, right, gang? We've been here 3 hours, man. I'm tapping out. I'm tapping all the way. I'm tapping out. I'm over here like, boo! I'm about to doze off on y'all up in this mug. Been here about 3 hours, man. We tapping out. But everything we seen is all false, man. There's absolutely a cover-up going on. There's absolutely somebody lying. Because why is Mississippi holding all this shit back? And why is Warren doing podcast interviews all of a sudden? Shit is funny as hell, man. Did all the boats leave together? That's what I'm trying to figure out too, to be honest. Nola was an athlete and all the little white girls liked him. I could see that pretty much. That's exactly why I said that. I could see the pretty little bunnies like him because he's a good football player. And did Warren friends actually like that type of shit? I don't think they did. Well, let me get you out of here. You thought I don't see that? Let me get your dumb ass out of here. You want to talk about hello Filipinos? Where the other one at? Hey Maz, y'all probably sleep. I don't know if my Maz went to sleep or Miss Special what. He said they all in the group chat. He said if they had a problem, whatever, they all post in the group chat, Nolan too. I won't trust that friend. Tell you that shit, man. Because there's something suspicious about this whole shit, man. There's something wrong about this. But let me get up out of here again. We've been here three hours, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. For the new subscribers, make sure y'all grab y'all membership if y'all could. Join Team Smoke. Smash that like, that hype, and that sub. That's all I need from y'all. Share the video. Bring some light to these videos. And make sure y'all keep that bell on so when we're going live and when I'm dropping my videos also. But till then, I'm tapping out, gang, man. We've been here 3 hours. Love y'all all, man. Rest in peace to Nolan Wells. My condolences to the family. It's your boy Smoke News TV. If they know, they know. Salute, gang. I'm out of here. Follow me on all platforms also. Instagram, all that. DM me with some information, all that, gang. For real. Sometimes I got to catch up on information. Make sure y'all DM me on shit too. Know what I mean? Follow me on all platforms. TikTok, Instagram, all that. Follow me on Kick also. I'm up out of here. Salute.
Yeah. This is Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Let's get to it. Smoke News TV, where the truth gets revealed. Every headline getting peeled, every rumor getting grilled. Hip hop industry drama, every deal. If it's making noise, then you know I'm in the field. Smoke News TV. I sit back and wait on it. Cause the truth always rises when the smoke starts clearing. Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Breaking down the latest. Every story got layers. Everybody got opinions. I'ma do the homework first. Looking past the captions, digging deeper than the surface. Cause every viral headline don't determine what the truth is. Beef, contracts, albums, interviews. Who's making power?
power moves, who's just chasing views? Some call it gossip, I call it research, connecting every dot before I get my first words. If it's solid, I'ma say it. If it's weak, I'ma call it. If I catch somebody moving funny, that's nasty work. Blow smoke, news TV. We back in the bill. Smoke, news TV. We back in the. No bias over here. I just call what I see. Whether legends or the rookies, everybody gets reviewed. Culture over clout, that's the code I live by. Every episode, another conversation amplified. So yo, if you're rocking with the movement, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel and hype your boy up. Every time the smoke rises,